Hello, I am Sophie Von On. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to part 2 of finishing Project Glass Draft 2. So, a lot has happened since the end of part 1 of this journey, mostly because my footage has about a 1-month gap between where part 1 ends and where this video begins. There's a lot of space to fill there. A lot of it was school. I also got a cat. She's great, and of course I did get a little bit of writing done, but no filming, no real consistent filming was being done. At the point where I do start filming consistently again for this video was the point where I finally decided that yes, I was going to finish this book very soon. No matter what it took, we were going to figure it out. So that is where this video begins. If you haven't yet, go watch part 1 and then come back. Otherwise, let's begin. Hello. Long time no see. This lighting sucks. Maybe I should rotate. Hold on. Hello. Long time no see. The last time I really filmed for this vlog was in January, and we were at the end of March. So, I apologize. There's been some writing in between the studying, and there have been chunks of weeks or like weekends where I've had very good writing time. Like, I really sat down, locked in, and gotten a decent amount of words. But for the most part, since I had talked to you guys last like this, it's just been like a couple words here and there, maybe a paragraph or two, like half a scene at a time, and then I go back to doing schoolwork, and then just like coming back to it every few days to just add a little bit more to the story. And the thing is, especially for this project, but like just typically in how I write, I do like to sit down and write a whole scene at a time. I like to stay in that scene the whole time in order to make sure I keep the voice that I want, and I make sure I stay on the track that I want to be on, and I don't come back to it later and I don't remember how I wanted the scene to play out, and then I end up going some direction that like ends up worse than it could have been originally. So another thing that really threw a wrench into this whole finished Project Glass thing was the fact that I never had enough free time lumped all together in order to actually write a scene in its entirety in one sitting. And I didn't have that time. Then I just wouldn't sit down and write the scene because I'm like, I need this to come together all at once. I need to be able to see the whole thing. So that was another issue. But lately, things have been turning around. Things have been turning around, and it makes sense because I'm at almost the very end of the book. We'll talk about that in a second. Things are turning around. I'm actually sitting down and writing a lot more, simply because I just have more time. I just got out of exams because at my university, I don't know if this is for other like colleges and stuff, but we have 3 major exams, like big, almost like unit exams, I guess, and then 1 final. They're all called midterms. All 3 are called midterms, and we have them throughout the semester, and then we have our final at the very end. So I just got out of midterms, but technically there's 3 of them. So now I finally have the time to actually write, like, consistently and like with more time. So I've been capitalizing on that and writing quite a bit for the past couple days or so, which has been very nice. But like I said a minute ago, I'm very close to the end. The end of this book always comes together very quickly in my writing, and typically there's this point that happens like right at the climax. This book is kind of formatted weird where like it doesn't really have a climax, or like the climax doesn't lead into a nice resolution where it's like all happy ever after. So it's like I call it the climax. I don't know if it's the climax or not, but we're gonna call it that. There's a point right after the climax that once we get there, pretty much the rest of the book I can write in one sitting. Hi. In hindsight, me editing with hindsight, I have no clue why I said that this could be written in one sitting. That's a complete lie. That could have been the case for like the 0 draft, maybe draft 1, but no. No. This point that I'm talking about here, from climax to ending, ended up being like over 5,000 words, I'm pretty sure, like maybe even closer to 10. So that was not going to be written in one sitting. I don't know why I said that. Straight up lying here. Anyways, continuing on. It's all in the same tone. There's no more ups and downs and twists and loops. I, as the writer, you as the reader, possibly, know what is going to happen. There is no more like, oh no, are they gonna do this? Are they gonna do that? There is a straight line to the conclusion that you can see. Writing at that point is just getting to that conclusion, is just getting us to the inevitable, essentially. So once I get to that point, which is coming up very soon, we'll get into that in a second, but once I get to that point, it is straight shot to the end. It's very just straightforward. We need to see what's going on, we need to see what's happening as we barrel towards this conclusion. Okay, another note, I'm handwriting again. It just felt right. At this point, I was just like, I'm getting kind of tired of typing. So I've been using this notebook that I've had for a little while. It's a little baby notebook. I don't know if I'm gonna go get another one of these and keep writing, because I am almost done with this notebook. This is everything I've written, and this is all I have left, so I'm about 3/4 of the way done with this notebook. I don't know if I'm gonna go buy another one, or if I'm just gonna go back to typing and whatever. I do think I'm gonna go buy another one. I don't know. Anyways, I went back into handwriting, and it's been going well. I think that's another reason why it's been going well. But I'm currently in the scene of the climax. Technically. It doesn't feel like one, because things just keep happening until the very end, but this is like the defining point before the conclusion, so it's the climax? I don't know. But I'm in that scene right now. I was writing it last night, and I got up to the point before it gets really intense. A lot of emotion alongside a lot of action, because one of my main characters is fighting and killing one of the monster creature things in this project. And she's already also filled with so much guilt and grief from literally everything else that's happened in the book, but especially how she's feeling now and how her sister has made her feel in the previous scene, just before the one I'm writing right now. She feels so just guilty for everything. She's always felt guilty in a way about the virus and the infection that has taken over their town. It's not her fault, by the way. She's always felt a sense of guilt, like survivor's guilt, that she's still here and no one else she loves, or very few of the people she loves, is still here. So she's just feeling very, very guilty, and now she has to kill one, which in a sense is, you know, freeing that person from being this monster, this creature. But also it's just reminding her of the fact that, like, they're gone. They're gone, they had no choice, and they turned into this monster, and now she has to, like, expedite nature, in a sense. It's gonna be a very emotional scene. There's more about it, but I won't spoil it, because we're at the end of the book, and there's gonna be a lot of spoilers. So everything I have to talk about is kind of vague. I apologize. But I stopped right before that yesterday, because I did not have the strength to write that scene the way it needs to be, and I didn't want to put like a half-baked scene in here. I want the ending to really hit, because, you know, once you hit the end of the story, you kind of just want to go straight to the end. You cut it short and just be like, okay, the end, we're done, wow, congrats. I don't want to do that this time. I feel like I was able to not do that, kind of, in the previous draft. I feel like we got a good amount of information before the end, but it was still kind of rushed. I've definitely outlined into this more detail to make sure that I don't rush to the end, but somehow I'm gonna manage to rush to the end just a little bit. The rest of this book is very, very emotional, and I'm not ready to feel those emotions quite yet, which is also probably why I stopped writing last night, because I was like, I'm not in the right headspace to channel these emotions out of me. Let me know if you guys do the same thing, but when characters are going through something, but I'm sure this is how everyone does it, correct me if I'm wrong, but when a character is going through something, in order to write it, in order to actually get across how they're feeling, I have to put myself in their situation and make the other characters people I know in order for it to actually hit, and to, like, for it to feel like how it would feel to me. Like if someone I cared about said whatever the characters were saying, if they delivered some kind of news to me that my characters are getting, how would it feel if like my friend told me about some tragedy, or if my sister told me something about our family? Like, how would it feel if it was me? So sometimes, especially in scenes like the one that's coming up, I have to like sit back and just like think about it first, or else it'll come out so flat. But like to sit down, just like replace your character with yourself and just let it like wash over you and really feel it. I just have to like sit there for a second and let it like sink in and like be like, okay, what would I do in that situation? I give myself that, and then I'm like, okay, if that's how I would react, how would this character react? Because obviously, oh hello, because obviously the character isn't me. We might be similar in some ways, but she is not me, and I am not her. So it's like a slight translation of who I am, to make it more accurate to my character. I'm gonna have to do that with this, and I'm scared. And I'm scared. Anyways, long update aside, we're gonna get started. I think I'm actually gonna go out and get another one of these because I'm gonna count it. Hold on. I have 7 sheets of paper left in here of 30. Yeah, 7 sheets left in here of 30, so that's 14 more pages. And 14 pages is about a chapter, and I have maybe 5 or 6 chapters left. So I am gonna need another one of these. I might just go out now and go get one and think about this scene and try and mentally prepare for it. I think that's the idea. I think we're gonna do that. Okay, let's do this. It is day 2. It is Sunday. I just went out and got myself some fuel. I'm very excited to drink this. I don't think I updated yesterday after I finished writing because I was a little emotionally spent, and I think I ate and went straight to sleep afterwards. But I did finish the scene that I was talking about yesterday. That's it sort of acts as the climax of the book, or like the final turn of the book, I guess. And now it should be straight shot to the end. I'm gonna reconvene with my outline, which I have conveniently right here, and see how much is left. I'm thinking maybe 6,000 words are left in the book. I'm not sure. Also, please don't mind my appearance. I woke up and decided to just start. So this is everything I've written. Cute. And this is what I have left. Very cute. I'm very scared. I'm very scared to write this part, because it's very emotional, it's very sad, but we're gonna do it. I'm at 55,000 words in the document on my computer, and in here, there's, I think like another 4,000 or 5,000. Oh no. Oh no. There's already 10,000 more words? That can't be right. I counted one page from here and said that like the average number of words on a page is 170. And if there are 60 pages in here, 10,000 words in this notebook alone? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. It might be another 10,000 words then. That's insane. That's insane. That's over double of what I expected this draft to turn out to be. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, this might be another 10,000 words, depending on what happens. And if it does end up being 10,000 words, I am not going to finish that all today unless a miracle occurs. So we're just gonna see how much of this I can get done today, and then we'll keep going during the week. But I do want to get a significant amount of this done because I don't want to write such emotional scenes in public, on campus, during school. I'm gonna drink some of this. We're gonna get into this scene, which I'm scared for, and we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go. I just finished this notebook. She is completely full. Yay! At the end of this notebook, though, I did have to use this paper to make a grocery list, so it's kind of messed up, but I did end up using it still. So, nothing went to waste. There's about 10,000 words in here. That is insane. We're gonna close that though, and we're gonna start on this one. Yes, I already spilled coffee on it. Do not hit me up. I don't know. I don't know how I managed. But let's do this. It's like 7. Oh, it's like 8. I've showered because it's Sunday and, you know, the week starts and I kind of don't want to be stinky. I have finished the chapter I was on. And I've also split the rest of the outline into 5 chapters. So the book will be 40 chapters long, about probably 1,000 to 1,500 words in each chapter. So I probably have like 7,000 or 8,000 words left, which, youch. That's my projected. At least we'll see if anything goes on for longer than I expect or ends up a lot shorter than I expect. But I am here now in my kitchen to do some cooking and some cleaning for the rest of the week because I'm scared to write the rest of the book. I don't know if you can tell. I feel like my voice is like shaking right now because a lot happened in the last chapter and it was very emotional. And I'm freaking out a little bit because I'm not ready to write what's about to happen. Completely my fault that what's about to happen is going to happen. I could totally change it. I could totally re-outline the book and make what's about to happen not happen. Totally in my power to do so. And I won't, and I don't, and it's going to happen still. Because I'm like really smart. I'm really intelligent that way. So I'm gonna make 1, something to eat right now, because I'm a little hungry, and 2, my lunch for tomorrow, because I do kind of need that. I'm scared. I'm scared. Hello. Sorry for the background noise. My window's open because it feels nice out. Cooking is done. Lunch is set up. I ate my dinner already at 9:30 at night. Don't worry about it. And it's time to get back to work. Here's everything. There's 5 chapters. I want it to be 5 chapters. They might be 5 short chapters. I'm not entirely sure. Let's just do it. Let's just go. I'm gonna see how many of these chapters I can write tonight before going to sleep. I don't want to stay up until like 4 in the morning. I don't even think I will be able to, but I'm gonna try to not stay up late if I can help it because I do have school tomorrow. But let's just jump in. Let's just get started. Whew, I'm scared.
But the channel, check out the Tokyo merch, and if you guys
Hi, it is Monday night. I got decently far in the book yesterday. I know I said I wanted to finish it yesterday. And then one of my friends ended up calling me and we called until like 2 in the morning. And I wasn't gonna write after that, especially because I had to get up early today. I wrote like half of the next chapter that needed to happen before she ended up calling me and calling it quits for the night. Earlier today, I finished chapter 36. There's 40 chapters total. I'm on chapter 37. Haven't started it yet, but it has a little title and I am scared. I'm scared. Ugh, I can't even like talk about it that much because it's gonna be such huge spoilers, but oh, it's time to go. It's time to go. And I've also got a chai here, which I've already drank a significant amount of because these are like crack. And don't worry, this plastic cup is being reused from a coffee shop I went to today. I feel like the drinks just taste better when they come in the cafe cups. So I use them again. They get rinsed out and everything. It's just coffee to chai. Stuff just tastes better in these cups, and I'm not gonna buy them, so you know, gotta reuse it. Anyways, one more fun update. My water bottle in my backpack today started leaking and got all over my notebooks because I had them with me so I could write. The damage was not too extensive, but there are a couple pages at the end here that got a little messed up. I think everything can be figured out though, still, like with context, so that's okay. But I noticed it in class because I took my notebook out to write instead of listen, and I was like, why is this page kind of soggy? I seriously cannot go a single project without having water damage though. It's so terrible. It's so terrible. It happened when I was rewriting Project What. I'm sure it happened during Project Moss. Project Star I drafted all on the computer, so that doesn't really count. But, like, this one gets indoctrinated into the water damage club. I don't understand. But anyways, I'm stalling at this point. We're gonna do this. Wish me luck. I will not be back here unless something insane happens or I finish the novel, so let's do this. It just passed 2 in the morning. I'm nowhere near done. I am nowhere near done. I am still on chapter 37. This chapter is already like 2,000 words, so I've written like 3,000 words today almost. I think it's more like 2,600. I should have known that this chapter was going to be long though, because anytime we're in the head of my character that's the older sister in this dynamic, and we're like really in her head and not just like more seeing what she's doing, the scenes go on so long. Whenever it's her and her thought process, it just goes on forever. All of the biggest chapters in the book are her chapters, and I think that's very funny. But yeah, it's 2 a.m. in the morning and I'm still writing chapter 37, and I think I'm gonna have to just call it. But obviously this chapter's ending up way longer than I thought it would. And now that I think about it, maybe at least another one of these chapters is gonna be like this too. Unless I can cut it short. But it's going to be solely in this older sister's perspective, so it might run on. And honestly, I'm kind of scared I'm gonna fill out this entire notebook. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because I think I calculated it. But one of these notebooks is 10,000 words, approximately. And if I fill this out, and I already have this one filled out, that's 20,000 more words that aren't in the doc yet, like on my laptop, and it's already at 55,000 words. This draft is ending up so much bigger than I ever expected it to be. But I have one last update before I go to sleep. I did end up cutting one scene from this sequence. It was one I added into the outline this time around, so this is it's completely new. I've never written it before. And it was supposed to give us closure on one of the relationships one of the main characters has. And I've realized that we really don't need that closure. Like, I mean, like, technically, I guess you could get it, but given the circumstances of how this book ends, it's not really a kind of closure that would happen naturally. And it really messes with the tone and the pace of the ending of this book. I feel like it just kind of comes in and like stomps on the pace that we're at. So I decided to get rid of it. It was just supposed to give us closure on something that was not addressed whatsoever in the previous draft. In the previous draft, at the end, there was just so much that was left somewhat half-baked, where it was like, oh, the character's world ended, basically, like, emotionally, the world ended. And then, like, they make a final decision and the end, the book is over. And I think I was overcompensating for closure during the outline, and I was like, we're gonna make sure we get some closure here, and I don't think we need this. So this has been cut. There is still a lot of story left to tell. A lot of the cards at this ending point, though, are like cards that contribute to the same scene. It's just I need a lot of context to make sure I got this part right, because I didn't want to speed through this and not give it the time and detail that it needed. So there's a lot of cards here, but a lot of this, it's probably like a scene or two per chapter, or like chapter 37, all one continuous scene. So I'm gonna go to sleep. I do have a lot of time tomorrow because I have one class tomorrow in the afternoon. So we will pick up then and see where this goes. I really want this book done, okay? I'm so motivated. I'm so motivated to get it done. But just so sleepy. Hello. Oh, is this gonna stay up? No. I had to go back to the store to get a third notebook because I am about 5 pages away from finishing the second one. I'm 5 pages away from finishing the second one. I can show you right now. I have it on me. Here's the one I'm currently using. It's a mess. And I've used the thicker side, and this is all I have left to use. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna buy another one. It's $1.75, so you know, I think I'll be okay. But also my hair is a mess. I will be fixing that in about 45 minutes, trust. It's so ugly though. I'm aware, don't worry. But anyways, that's my update. That's my writing update. I've written so much that I needed to get a third notebook, which means I've added about 20,000 words to this project. I'm sick. I am sick. fine friends. It's been a while since I updated the vlog, even with just footage, like in general. For reference, today is May 1st. Oops, this has been a long time coming. I wanted to wait until I made my final update for when I printed the entire thing out, because I didn't really finish the novel if I didn't print it out. You know what I mean? So here it is. It's kind of crazy. Let's go over some final stats before we go over some final feelings. So this book ended up being much longer than I thought it would be. For people who were not here at the beginning, I thought this book was going to be 30,000 words. Now that I think about it, that sounds insane. But I thought it was going to be 30,000 words. It was going to be done. Don't know what I was thinking, frankly. But the final word count of the entire novel is 73,963 words. That's literally over double. That is literally over double of what I expected. Where did I get 30K? Do not ask me. I just realized I am missing the cover page as well. Okay, there we go. 74,000 words and 191 pages. I finished typing this up last night. Oh, well, wait. Okay. Hey, I finished typing it up last night. I just had this like spark of inspiration to finish typing up the novel yesterday, and I was like, you know what, capitalize on it, I'm gonna use it. So I did. It was like 3 more chapters I think I had to type, not even, like 2.5, but they were some of the biggest chapters in the book, so it took a while. I think it took about like an hour and a half to finish. And when typing up the book, it's basically like just reading it, because all I'm doing is processing the words through my head and into the keyboard. I'm not really writing anymore, and I'm not really revising either, because I'm not doing that yet. So it's really just like reading the book. And I'm sure you guys are aware by now that the ending of this book isn't the happiest, isn't the most joyful thing in the world, and the last few chapters that I had to type were the worst of those. So definitely feeling all the emotions last night, but I love this book. And I need a pair of scissors, hold on. Scissors acquired. So literally like all the emotions came back, especially because when I was writing the ending of this book, I was in public. I was in the public library on campus, on my university's campus, so I couldn't really start crying there without getting weird looks. So kind of had to keep it in when I was actually finishing the book. And here, I could let it all out. I could do whatever I want. And do whatever I want, I did. It was rough. It was rough. But I just adore this book. I was thinking about it as I was printing this out, which this was a nightmare to print out. My printer did not want to work with me, but we got there. But I was thinking about it while I was printing this out, that this book is probably the most cohesive and tight-knit book that I have so far. In terms of like how much needs to be changed in draft 3, had to remember what draft I'm in. Like based off of that, this has the least amount of changes that need to happen, I'm pretty sure. Of course, that could change in revision, but right now, I'm like, wow, this is a book. Like, this is a book, which is good, because I'm sure some of you guys are aware. I don't think I've talked about it in a while. I want Project Glass to be my debut. I want that to be my debut novel, mostly because it's a standalone, and I think it'll be easier to publish a standalone, especially because none of my trilogies are really at the stage where I feel like it would be safe to publish the first book. This as a standalone, and it will always be a standalone. This is what I've always wanted to be my debut. And knowing that it's at a point where, you know, like, we're really close to it being something I like and I'd be fine with sharing with people, is very exciting. Though, I must also note that this book has not been read by beta readers yet. I'm hoping after I go through what I'm calling pre-edits of this book, and I can put in those changes, I can get my first round of beta readers. But for right now, this has just been my eyes. No one else has read this before. From what I know, and from what I can tell, it's extremely close to like being what I really want it to be. And that's just so exciting because I don't really have a book like that yet. I would arguably say that Project What is the closest because Act 2 and Act 3 of that book are very stable, and I think those will remain as they are. But Act 1 is the problem child, and I'm still working on that, as you guys probably know. This book, it just feels like solid, like stable. I just said that, but like it literally feels like okay. There's not like any plot holes. There's not any like weird inconsistencies. Like I think the worst thing about it right now is the prose at some points, because sometimes I honestly could not be bothered to write something good. But I am just so excited that this book is done. I think I said this in a previous video, but I was at the point where I was like getting almost tired of being in this world. Like I love the book. I love these characters, and writing the end and getting to the end and seeing the book come together, it's like, yeah, like this book is amazing and I love it. But like somewhere like right before the end, I was really like, bro, get me out of here. I'm done with being in this small town. I'm done with dealing with these monsters. I'm done with dealing with these sisters drama. I think it was also because I had recently finished the outline for Act 1 of Project What. So I was really thinking about Project What, and I really wanted to write Project What. And I knew that if I started that, I would never finish Project Glass, because unfortunately, Project Glass always gets thrown to the side if I am working on multiple projects. Sorry, Project Glass. I've just learned that I need to just solely focus on Project Glass when I want it done, and not have any distractions, and not try to work on another project, because Project Glass will never get written. And I mean, it worked. Look what's sitting in front of me, look what I'm chopping up. I'm honestly like, I said this ages ago in a Project What video from probably 2021. But like looking back at this, and like I was reading little snippets as it was being printed out, I was kind of like weirded out almost that like I had written this. Like this was my work sitting in front of me and I was just skimming through it. Not to sound super cocky and annoying and weird, but it was so strange, and it is so strange to see this and be like, yeah, I wrote this. This book is mine. And I honestly think it's because the characterization this time around is miles better than it was in the previous draft. The previous draft, there wasn't much. The previous draft, I had focused on backstory and building out the town that they live in, which helped, which is nice because I got to add it to this. But characterization was lacking. We knew nothing about the characters. There wasn't much to root for. And this time, I feel it's so much like deeper, and it's so much stronger. And like sometimes I will think about the characters and the circumstances I've built for them, and I'll just like just sigh. I'm like, wow, like this was a long time coming. I've been writing this book since 2020, I think, or 2021. I think it's 2020 though. I've been writing this book since then, and it's like, yeah, like now, like I feel like it's like really coming together. Like this is what it was meant to be. Anyways, I think that is it from me for this video. This video is probably very long and I apologize, but that is it for the Project Glass saga for the time being. I don't know when I will be picking this book up again. I have many other projects I would like to work on before cycling back through, but she will be back. I'm very excited to see where this project goes, and hopefully start getting on the road to publishing. That's very hopeful, but you know, getting closer. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. How are your projects going? I know that now this is done, I will be pivoting and working on Project What, which I'm so excited for. I've been watching a lot of stuff about cults and about like nuclear disasters, and I think that's just my subconscious trying to tell me that I want to work on Project What, because those are the two driving forces of the project. And every time I put a video on about it, or a documentary, or whatever, I'm like, oh my god, I need Project What in my life again. And now I can finally bring Project What in my life again. So, Project What vlogs will be back after this one. Look out for those. And yeah, let me know how your writing's going in the comments, or whatever you want to say in the comments, and hope to see you in the next one. Peace. Wow.